Did you know the programming language that helped create your favorite apps is over 50 years old? That's right. Meet Smalltalk, the language that transformed how we write code today. If you've ever wondered why every object in your favorite programming language seems to have a life of its own, you've got Smalltalk to thank. Stick around to discover how this tiny language left a huge impact on the way we think about code. In the 1970s, when most programmers were typing away in languages like Fortran or COBOL, one language was about to change everything: Smalltalk. Created by Alan Kay and his team at Xerox PARC, Smalltalk was not just a new language, it was a new way of thinking about programming itself. You see, before Smalltalk, programming was pretty rigid. Data and functions were kept separate, like oil and water. But Smalltalk introduced the world to the concept of objects, pieces of data that came to life with their own behaviors. Sound familiar? That's because this concept, called object-oriented programming, is now at the heart of languages like Java, Python, and even Swift. So, how did Smalltalk come to be? In the early 1970s, a brilliant computer scientist named Alan Kay had a radical idea. What if computers could model the real world more closely? He envisioned a system where everything was an object, just like real-world objects. A cup, a car, or even you, all objects with properties and behaviors. Imagine the power. Now, instead of writing code to calculate everything manually, you could just tell objects to do their thing, and let them handle the rest. This is a simple example of Smalltalk code, where objects interact. Look familiar? That's because you're probably using these principles every day if you code in an object-oriented language. But what's even more fascinating is how Smalltalk laid the groundwork for some of the most popular programming languages we use today. For example, Java, which came decades later, borrowed the idea of objects from Smalltalk. In fact, when Sun Microsystems was developing Java, they drew heavily from Smalltalk's philosophy. The idea that everything is an object became central to Java's design. And it didn't stop there. Python, another popular language, adopted many of Smalltalk's ideas too. Python is known for being easy to read and write, and part of that comes from Smalltalk's influence on keeping code simple and clear. But Smalltalk's impact wasn't just on the languages themselves. It changed how we think about programming. Alan Kay once said that Smalltalk isn't just a language, it's a way of thinking about computation. Smalltalk wasn't just about writing code. It was about creating an environment where users could interact with the computer in a visual, intuitive way. You know all those modern GUI interfaces and drag-and-drop tools we take for granted? That's rooted in the work done with Smalltalk. The idea of a live environment, where you can interact with objects, change them in real time, and immediately see the results, comes from Smalltalk. This changed the way developers work and brought us closer to the interactive systems we use today. So, why should we still care about Smalltalk today? Even though it's not the most popular language anymore, its DNA is everywhere. From Java to Python, from Swift to Ruby, the object-oriented principles that Smalltalk pioneered are at the core of modern software development. And remember, every time you create an object, give it some behavior, or interact with it in your favorite language, you're standing on the shoulders of giants. And one of those giants is Smalltalk. Thanks for joining this coding journey with me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more programming history and insights. And in the comments, let me know what modern programming languages you think were influenced the most by Smalltalk. See you next time.